I'm going to sew at 0.5. So I'll drop my presser foot now, and I'm going to take my 0.5 measurements. So I'll keep adjusting till everything aligns together perfectly. Okay, so I'll sew now. I'll back stitch. So as you're sewing, make sure your yoke is lying in between, okay, without folding or squeezing. So you can see me trying to arrange my yoke and sewing right on top of my pins. So from that point I'll keep sewing. So please don't stretch your mesh. So you just need to lay on top of it, that's all. So I prefer you pin, okay. So I want to continue my pinning from seam line to seam line, arranging my yoke appropriately, as you can see right here. So if you cut correctly, definitely everything lays perfect for you. Okay, so I'll continue to sew now right on top of my pins at 0.5. So as I'm sewing, I'm arranging my yoke. So you can see everything matches up, and I'll back stitch at that point. So once that is done, the next I want to do is to top stitch. So I'll be top stitching right now on top of the lining. I'll be top stitching on top of the lining. So I'll take off my pins and then top stitch. So this is my lining and this is my fabric. Okay, so I've checked my yoke and you can see the yoke is well sewn, as you can see right here. So I'm going to flip all the seams to the part of the lining, as you can see. So I'm going to sew now right on top of the lining. So as I'm sewing, I'm trying to stretch, as you can see me stretching. So all the seams are on the side of the lining. Take note of that. And here I'll back stitch and I'm done. So the next I want to do is to give it a good press. I'm going to, this is what we got now as a top stitch, as you can see. So I'll just go in and give it a good press, okay, so it lays nice and flat on the neckline. So I'm going to sew the back. So I'm going to sew the back yoke now. So if you see, I've sewn the neckline for my back yoke. So what I have on this part is seamless, as you can see. So it means we are not going to stitch anything on it at all. So I've also sewn my button loops and turn my neckline, giving it a good press. Okay, so I have a detailed video on how to sew your neckline of your yoke on this channel, so you can check it out for a perfect neckline finishing of your yoke. So this is exactly what we got, what we are going to, or how it's going to lay. So it's laying this way. Okay, we'll have our button right on top, and the opening. As you can see, we just have the opening right there. So I'll come in, I'll be using one. I will be using this to demonstrate to you. So let me take off this. I'll bring in the back bodies that matches with that. So the back bodies that matches with that one is this, as you can see right here. So note that we have a 1 inch zip allowance. So before I pin my yoke, I'm going to step out at 1 inch for my zip. So I'll flip my yoke to this part and align it after 1 inch. Okay, so remember this is seamless, so I'm aligning after 1 inch, or you can also align, because by the time I sew from 0.5, okay, let me just have it from here. So once I sew at 0.5 and turn, I have it exactly at 1 inch. So you just step in by 0.75. Okay, all right, so I'll just pin right now. I just gauged it and I know it's going to be at 0.5. So I'll secure with my pin. So by the time I sew off 0.5 this way, I have 1 inch at that point. So where I'm facing the lining now is the fabric itself. The yoke is the fabric itself. So I'm going to come in with my lining that matches the fabric. So this is it, and I got it. So I'm going to sew from 0.5, leaving 1 inch for my zipper. So I'm leaving 1 inch for my zipper, and I'll sew at 0.5. So I'll drop my press foot and measure. I'm measuring 1 inch. This is my 1 inch, and that is where I'm starting my sewing at 0.5. So I'll position it, I'll angle it to the shape of the neckline, and I'm going to align lining to fabric at 0.5, and I'll sew off to the armhole and back stitch at that point. So once that is done, I'm going to also top stitch. So I'll take off my pins right now and top stitch. So you can see what we have, what I told you. If you have it exactly at 0.5, once you turn at 1 inch, once you turn, it goes in. So if you want to get it exactly at 1 inch, just come in by 0.5, okay? Then you can be able to align it appropriately. So I'm going to top stitch by flipping every of my seam right now on the part of the lining. So I'll drop my presser foot, I'll back stitch. I'm top stitching right on top of the lining, okay, as all the seams lies on this. So I'll back stitch at this point, and we are done. So I'm going to repeat same process. I'll give it a good press, as you can see right here, and I'm repeating the same process I have right here. I'm going to repeat it for the lining, for the other side, the left hand side. So you can see what we got right here. So this is the right side of the dress. So by the time I give it a good press, everything relaxes nice.